Hello and welcome again to Let's Play Shadows of All. This is Policy of Madness. We're here in the lair of the Unseen Eye. We're right next to this thing, which was described to us by Sasser, or maybe it was Tad, not sure, as a niche. This apparently is a niche. They did not refer to it as a throbbing nipple. Honestly, have no idea how anybody is actually storing things in here. But in any case, what we're doing here is
Nothing to it.
about to defeat the Unseen Eye. This isn't going to really even count as a battle. Yeah, Skeleton Warrior did him in. That's what usually happens to me here. Okay. So it's actually the end of it. And now...
If you say so. You wouldn't hurt a lady, would you?
Okay. That's all of them, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So last time, there's the depleted rift device. Last time, I said that when you
Of course.
come up to a woman and and she's like sitting somewhere out in public and she has headphones in her ears and a book in her lap and she's
If that's
very
what
clearly doing something that doesn't involve you.
Tell me all
And you come up to
about
her and you gesture for her to get her headphones out of her ears, and she does, of course, because she wants to know what the hell you want and if it's important. And what you do is you use this opportunity to hit on her. This is theft. This is not like theft. I'm not using theft as an analogy. This is literally theft.
Yes?
You're taking something from her that she paid literal money to have.
Yes?
So people do know the name. Okay. Yeah. This god, I don't know if I mentioned before, was a sun god and also the god of contracts or some shit. And that's why I'm not sure how in character all this is, as far as him rewriting this agreement that he had with, I guess, his worshippers and also the creator races.
I hear you have suffered, who still suffer. The time is at an end. The letter of the law states that we guard until the end of time. Our time has ended.
Yeah, I don't know how in character this is for this particular deity. Except that he no longer exists under this name. I mean, everybody thinks he's dead. Like I said, I think in this time period, everybody thought he was dead. He's actually Lothander, the Morning Lord. There's a temple to him in Bear Ghost, and also I think the temple here in the Temple District is to him, but it's not under his name. But apparently, even though everybody thinks he's dead, he still has an afterlife. Okay.
This is the end of things. Rest your mind in my heart. Rest.
So he takes the Rift Device and he gives us the shield, which we will never use because, of course, we don't use shields. And now we have a level. Let's take it. This is good. We like saving throws. Level 6 spells. I think we're going to take Death. Death Fog does kind of the same thing as Death, except it has also a standing area of effect damage. But I think I like Death better. Alright.
Whatever you desire.
Let's go clean up the Unseeing Eye. And then we'll be done with this quest.
Is that all?
I recognize that if you're coming to this Let's Play, and this is the first video that you're watching, that may seem like kind of an outrageous statement. But you would need to go back to the last video in order to see how I arrived at that. It's using basic economic principles. This isn't something like, gender studies or what have you.
Nothing to it.
This is economics, which is probably the most unforgiving of the social sciences.
You are a great and wonderful being for what you have done. May the gods smile upon you forever for doing this for that creature.
I don't know what he's referring to. Is he referring to the avatar? Is this really an appropriate word to use for the avatar of a deity? Okay. So now his buddies are gone, and we can...
Incurtus pulcr
see what we can do about using their shit. Oh. Sometimes that works. I guess it doesn't here. Okay. So if just walking up to women and bothering them is not the correct way to meet women,
Yeah.
and you
Tell
are
me
the type
all
of person
about
who
it.
wants to meet women, then how do you do it? And I started to touch on this, I think 2 sessions ago. I think it was 2 sessions ago, when I said that the first step is to actually not have conversations. Or, not have conversations, not have a relationship for a while.
Whatever
come
you
back!
want.
The
unseeing eye has been killed, but not all is lost!
I just wanted to break my invisibility so that to trigger his little thing here. Yeah, I don't think that's actually going to happen. A couple of people who will just kind of run off. I thought. Okay.
Death to the disbeliever!
Incurtus pulchra imperium.
Vita mortis aria.
Come back here, you piece of shit.
Incurtus pulchra imperium.
Alright, where'd he go? Don't know how he thinks that's gonna happen, considering that I killed the unseen eye. That seems kind of counterintuitive, right? You get into relationships by not bothering to try to get into relationships for a while. I mean, what sense does that make? Here's the sense that it makes. People who are really invested, like really super invested in being in relationships, come across to people in a very particular way, and it's not very flattering. More or less, you're coming across as desperate. Desperation is not a good look. And even if you think you're not being desperate, you're not... Even if you don't feel necessarily desperate, if your entire vision of yourself, your entire self-worth is dependent upon someone being in a relationship with you or sleeping with you or, you know, whatever, you're placing your self-worth entirely in the hands of other people, and you can't actually control other people. You can't make people care about you. You can't make people want you. And all the shenanigans that you go through in order to try to make people want you don't look good.
Incurtus pulchra imperium.
It's going to make you pushy. It's going to make you clingy. Pushiness and clinginess are not attractive. And so by being so desperate for a relationship, you're actually sabotaging the very thing that you want. You're preventing yourself from having the very thing that you need. So what do? Well, you stay out of relationships for a while. And this is going to accomplish several things for you. I like how the cabinet's not locked, but a frickin' table is somehow locked. The first thing that this is going to accomplish for you is it's going to
I'm waiting.
make you realize that not being in a relationship is not the end of the world. I really think that you need to do this for at least 6 months, and a year is actually better. Because what you're going to be doing is resetting your expectations. You're going to be understanding, because you've just proven to yourself
What would you like?
that you don't actually need a relationship. That relationships are nice. But if you don't have one, it's okay. You're not gonna die. Some people think that if they can't have a relationship, then that means they're not worth anything. And
Nothing to. Yes.
I think that's the origin of many people's despair. Especially people who feel like they have so much to offer another person.
Whatever you want.
You know, intelligent, and attractive, at least, you know, physically attractive. How did they find out so quickly?
If you say so.
Have I looked in this yet? Guess I hadn't. I mean, the thought is that you have all these things to offer a relationship, but nobody wants it.
Your return was foreseen, though what you would say is unknown.
I don't understand this. Helm is a deity, and he's like the deity of watching. Wouldn't he be able to see everywhere? I don't understand this. Then why didn't you do this before? What'd you need me? But not concerned enough to do anything or look into it in any way. Okay. This is probably
That's what you want.
the best of the strongholds from a location perspective, because you can enter from the world map right here. And here's a stronghold. It's like right there.
Whatever you desire.
So here's our room. We have several containers for our use. This is going to be our shit to sell. This particular girdle is practically a requirement if you have Viconia in your party, because her con is extremely low, and that will raise her con to, I think, 18 for 8 hours, essentially all day.
Tell me all about it.
And boost her hit points, which is she desperately needs. If you give her that and the Cromfair, then she is a first-class party member.
Nothing to it.
Probably better than anyone else. So you're going to be in this non-relationship,
Whatever
you know.
want.
I'm not saying that you need to cut yourself off from all your friends. I'm not saying, you know, go to a cabin in the hills.
Just
and
ask.
become a hermit. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that you need to reset your expectations and make your default being not in a relationship. And so when you are in a relationship, that is that's like a bonus. You know, to be in a relationship is a bonus. Something that's great, something that's awesome, but not something that you actually
What would you
require.
like?
You know, kind of like steak. Steak is great, assuming you're not a vegan or a vegetarian. If you're a vegan or a vegetarian, you're going to disagree with that steak is great statement, but if you're not, then having steak is awesome. But it's not something that you need.
I'm waiting.
Nobody needs steak to
Nothing
live.
to it.
Steak is just
Yes.
something that you get for special occasions, or if you're wealthy enough, it's you can have steak every day. And that's your reward to yourself
Whatever you tell me all about it.
for being sufficiently awesome.
If you say
But
so.
people don't need steak to survive. So a relationship needs to be like that to you.
Of course.
Having a relationship would be great. But if you're not in one, you can survive. There's a potion here that you use in a quest with Mazzy that I've actually never gotten to work. That quest is extremely bugged. And I've only had Mazzy in my party like twice, so it's never seemed worthwhile to install a bug fix for it. So once you understand that being in a relationship is, or not being in a relationship is not going to kill you, you're not going to die,
Whatever
you're not even necessarily going to be unhappy. You're going to learn that being in just yourself, just being a single person, you can still be happy.
I'm waiting.
And then when you do start a relationship with people, or you start looking for relationships with people, that desperate air is not going to be around you. While you're doing this and resetting your expectations in this way, you need to be doing a couple of things.
Is that all? Yeah.
Not just sitting on your lump, okay? You need to... the problem with people who think that the world is going to end
Whatever you want.
if they're not in a relationship is that they have a tendency to be defining themselves. They define themselves, not always, but often,
Just ask.
in terms of other people. They think of themselves as not being independent human beings, but in terms of
What would you like? Tell me all
their
about
relationships with others. One of the things that you're going to be doing is realizing that this is not the case for you. That even if other human beings cease to exist totally, you would still have a personality.
it. Do it.
And interests and shit. You would still be a complete human being.
Whatever.
Part of this is going to be just realizing
If you say so.
what you believe in certain things, you know. Do some reading, especially do some reading of, things like,
Of course.
well, it depends on what interests you. I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do, but,
If that's what you want.
if I were going to be spending a year with no relationships, I might read books on philosophy, or economics, or political science, or, these things that interest me, these topics that interest me.
Whatever
Because I'm
you
not
desire.
spending a lot of time trying to make somebody else happy. That's the thing. I'm not spending a lot of time trying to make somebody else happy.
Is that all? I'm waiting.
Or trying to make myself happy in terms of someone else. I can make myself happy in terms of me. So figure out who you are.
Nothing to it.
Get some hobbies. You would not believe how important hobbies are.
Whatever. Yes.
Because hobbies give you something to talk about. I mean, this whole thing about not being in a relationship and not even trying, it's not going to last forever. This is just something that you're doing for, 6 months or a year. Aim for a year.
What would you like?
And when I say don't be in a relationship, I mean don't ask people out.
Nothing to it.
If someone tries to set you up with a friend of theirs, don't go. Just turn them down and say, I'm not really interested in looking at that right now, but thanks, and maybe in a couple months I'll be up to that.
Whatever you want.
If someone asks you out, don't go. Don't accept. Unless this is someone who you really dig.
If you say so. Tell me all about it.
If somebody actually comes up to you and, says, hey, I think I'd really like to spend some time with you, and this is someone that you're super into, I'm definitely not going to tell you not to go for that. Definitely go for that. But don't initiate anything yourself, and don't allow your friends to initiate something on your behalf. Because when you do start dating again and talking to people who interest you, you're going to need some things to talk about. So get some hobbies.
Nothing to it.
Hobbies can be obtained very cheaply.
Whatever you want.
For example, you can become you can, like I said, read novels on philosophy. Not novels, but, books. And make philosophy your hobby.
Just ask.
Make economics your hobby. Take up chess. You can play chess online for free. Against many people. I used to play chess. I was never too good at it.
What would you like? I'm waiting.
There was a site that I would play on. I don't even know if it's still in existence, but you started out with like this really low ranking, and you played against other people, and as you
Nothing to it.
beat other people, your ranking would go up, and if they beat you, your ranking would go down. And eventually I got to the point where I was playing people who were
Whatever. Yes.
better than I was, and I was learning a whole lot from these people. One person just absolutely immobilized all of my pieces. It was unbelievable how skilled this person was, and I don't really know how they ended up in the same rank where, I was, because I was nowhere near that good.
If you say so. Of course.
But there came a point when I was looking at the board, and there was nowhere for me to move that would not lead to, at least in my reckoning, which was not an expert's reckoning. There was nowhere that I could move that would not absolutely devastate my position. Because the other person's position was so much stronger.
Whatever you tell me.
That's a
all
hobby
about
that you can take up without paying any money at all. There are also other hobbies that you can take up that don't cost a lot of money. If you have some
Is
space,
that all?
and you don't need a ton of space, just a little bit, and some sun.
Nothing to.
Take up gardening. Gardening doesn't cost very much. I mean, it doesn't have to. And it's something that you can talk about to other people, because a lot of people either they either garden themselves, and so they're interested in talking about it to you, or they
Just
wish
ask.
that they knew how to do it. And then you have a
What
rapt
would you
audience.
like?
Gardening makes a great topic of conversation. This is serving more than one purpose, note. I mean, you're not learning how to garden.
Wow, an adventurer.
Okay. I guess we'll go take care of that now. You're not learning how to garden just to have things to talk about. You're learning how to garden so that you have
Whatever I'm with.
something to do with yourself that you enjoy that doesn't involve other people. You know, you're making yourself a complete human being, someone who does not depend on other people to define you, but at the same time, you're also creating conversation topics, things that you can talk about that other people
Of course.
might find interesting.
You must gather your party before
Okay. There's a mod to take that voice off. Just get rid of it. I've never bothered with it. Just if I played with parties more often, maybe I would bother with it.
If that's what you want.
Theater life is never dull.
Here you are, about 5 minutes after... What's his name? Is his name Mech? Yeah, after Mech came and found me. Came to find me. Stage gnomes. Did he actually say stage gnomes? I didn't know we had stage gnomes. How come I haven't met them? They're people. They should have been here in the staff role.
A pleasure it is to meet you.
Crossing the oldest one. Apparently the sorcerer whose bane is described in this play. Dust is costly and so is Shyvana's time. That's legit. That's what I was talking about before. 1,000 golders. So let's say half of this is for her materials and the other half is for her time. So the time that she would be spending doing nothing on this pilgrimage, but communing with her deity, that's worth to her at least. Well, it's worth to her less than 500 gold. It's probably worth about 500 gold to her, because that's what she's asking for in order to, spend her time doing something else. She has purchased this time, and now she wants you to make her a better offer. You can talk her down, but why not? It's not like we don't need the money. Or it's not like we need the money. I like how he keeps lumping himself in with his fear and sometimes distancing himself from it. Here he's trying to distance himself from it. Here he's including himself. Okay. We should probably check in Durnasty Keep too and see what's going on there. Probably the first little event is available now.
Is that all? Yeah.
Learn how to paint. You know, learn how to sculpt. You can get modeling clay for not very much money. And, you know, paints and canvases can be kind of expensive, and if you don't buy pre-made canvases, which you should not, you kind of stretch your own canvas on a frame. This can be a not insignificant expense, so learning how to paint is for people who
Whatever, tell me all about
have a
it.
little bit of money for the materials. But getting like a sketchbook and a couple of charcoal pencils, learning how to sketch, that doesn't cost very much.
Just ask.
What you need to do is become a complete human being.
What would you...
And as a side effect of this, a very good side effect, you will also, when you start talking to women again, you'll have something to contribute to the conversation other than, I like your face.
Whatever you want.
And you'll also know what you enjoy other than
If you
sex,
say so.
and be able to judge whether or not the other person that we're talking about here, this is going to be our junk drawer, shares any of your interests. I like the voice that occasionally comes through here. I don't know if it comes through here before you get the
Of course.
stronghold, but that guy who just kind of recites, I guess, the tenets of Helm. Not really sure what he's saying. I mean, I know what he's saying, I'm not sure what it means.
I'm waiting.
So once you've done this, once you have
Whatever you desire.
spend some time by yourself, another thing that you're actually going to be doing while you're doing this, spending time by yourself and not in a relationship, is
Is that all? Yeah.
probably something that you've already thought of and wondering why I didn't mention it. You know, what about my boner?
Nothing to it.
That's legit, okay? That's definitely a concern. And
Whatever you want.
you need to learn how to deal with that
Just ask.
on your own without anybody else's help. This may sound really cold, but learning to love yourself really is the greatest love of all.
What would you like?
The song is telling a true story. And this goes physically as well as emotionally. There's a big stigma attached to
Nothing to tell me all about it.
especially male masturbation aids. You need to get over that. There are very few women over the age of 20-ish who don't own at least one,
Whatever you want.
vibrator or dildo or both.
Have a look at my...
And there's no reason why you as a dude
If you say so.
should not also have things like that. Get a fleshlight. Don't be ashamed.
Of course.
Because all of this is going to turn you into what I call no pressure guy.
If that's what you want.
No pressure guy knows that if he doesn't hook up
Whatever you
tonight
desire.
and he has to go home alone, it's not the end of the fucking world. If this is true for him, he's not going to let's check our in a Darnassi keep.
Is that all?
It's not going to be terrible it's not even gonna be bad, really.
Nothing to it. I'm waiting.
And so he is not going to be pressuring anybody into having sex with him or getting into a relationship with him, or I like how they set the dog pins back up. But Rex, what was their names? Rex,
Whatever
Rover,
you
Sparky, and
want.
Spot. They're gone forever. Poor babies.
Greetings, Your Grace.
Okay. Felt pretty confident there would be something, but I guess there's not. Okay.
Just ask. Yes.
No pressure guy
What
doesn't
would you
need to
like?
pressure anyone. And let me tell you, no pressure guy gets laid a lot more than high pressure guys. So here's how no pressure guy interacts with me.
Nothing to it.
We're both at a club, let's say, and I'm just hanging
Whatever
out.
you want.
Duty is the greatest honor, and duty to Helm is above all.
He says the telling is complicated, but it's actually totally straightforward. For Prison of Nashkel, who literally worked himself to death over Elisime, who is not worth it in any fashion. Don't know what was complicated about that.
If you say so.
Actually, wasn't complicated at all. So, no pressure guy comes up to me,
Of course. Tell me all about it.
and he says, "Can I buy you a drink?" And I say, "No, thank you."
Are you interested in purchasing a bit of merchandise, my friend?
I like Jan. He's a great party member, but not really interested in doing his little thing.
If that's what you want.
I say no thank you because I don't accept drinks from people I don't
Whatever
know.
you desire.
You need something, stranger?
Not just because some people will drug them, but even if it comes straight from the bartender, I don't want dudes to think that I am then obligated to give them my time or what have you, which is, you know, something that a lot of guys seem to think. They don't view buying me a drink as a gift. They view it as a, you know, way into my pants, more or less. And I don't deal with that. So I don't accept drinks from people.
Who is it? Might I ask why you have disturbed my meditations?
He's just kind of standing here in the kitchen. His hosts are out here. Does he just... I don't know. Maybe he's getting a snack. But he's always here. He must be really hungry. That's true.
What I really need is to work in the medium of my choice, pure illithium.
So So again, you know, he's having a holiday. He's purchasing this leisure with his not working, and you have to offer him more than his leisure time is worth to him in order to get him to give that up.
Is that all?
Now, a dude who does not have any respect for me or my wishes will insist on buying me a drink. I insist.
Nothing to it.
No pressure guy does not insist. No pressure guy says, okay. Because if I completely turn him down, he's not going to go crying into his beer because,
Whatever
you know, having a conversation with me or whatever is not something he actually needs. It's just something he wants. So then no pressure guy will say, you know, is this seat taken? Maybe there's an empty seat next to me. Is anyone sitting here?
Anything you need, I can likely provide.
Just
I assure you.
Greetings, good customer. A pearl to you.
Is anyone sitting here? Would it be okay if I sat down? You know, not just plopping his butt down, but asking me if it would be okay. She just said this. Okay. We're not interested in the substitute, which Sarles will detect
Yes.
and refuse. The only reason you would want to do that is to keep the lithium so that you can upgrade the Mace of Destruction, Mace of Disruption. But we have no use for the Mace of Disruption in any form.
Nothing to it.
So I say sure. And he sits down and we start to talk. And no pressure guy has more to say to me than just, you know, commenting on my looks.
Your chattering's starting to wear on me nerves.
She seemed like an adult woman to me. So Athkatla's racist. Okay. We're making this judgment after knowing him for like literally 2 minutes. Derelict little place. He'll mark it on our map. Actually, our map is already marked with this derelict place. We never met Neb in Baldur's Gate. Because when we returned to the city, when we were wanted, we walked around visible and to whatever degree we needed to walk around. And we're never caught. But if you are caught by the Flaming Fist, Here's the derelict house.
Of course.
They'll throw you in jail, and Neb will be next door, and he'll help you escape. Okay. This is not a very dangerous fight. There's a trap on this door, but we can evade it. If you pop the door open with knock, the trap that was on it is then completely disarmed.
If that's what you want.
You wouldn't hurt a gnome, would you?
Now wait a minute. Wasn't he supposed to be a hill dwarf? Now he's apparently a gnome. Whatever. The game kind of assumes that we've been level drained by those wraiths. And gives us a free restoration, which actually makes us tired. It'd be nice if we'd actually been level drained, but we weren't, so it's just irritating. There's a trap on one of these two, and I think this is what we're gonna do. I don't usually do this. I don't usually think about it. But in addition to giving us a bonus of 4 on our AC, improved invisibility actually gives us a bonus of 4 on all of our saving throws also. I think the trap is actually here. Nope. Holy shit. Holy shit.
I'm waiting.
I guess it doesn't allow save.
You know.
Okay, that was kind of horrible. Ought to be using these instead. Wow. Wow. Okay. Basically just full of money. Guess we could have skipped it then.
Nothing to it.
No Pressure Guy has things to tell me, things to talk about, with himself that don't involve me,
Whatever
that don't
you
involve just
want.
giving me transparent, insincere compliments about my looks and whatever. And he's having a conversation
Just
with me.
ask.
He's not just talking at me.
Is there something that you need, citizen?
I don't know why the head is in some kind of terrible condition. Just chopped it off. No Pressure Guy is not mansplaining at me because he doesn't feel the need to
Yes.
impress me. No Pressure Guy is really trying to see whether or not we have anything in common.
Nothing to it. Whatever you want.
Oh, do go away.
So he was only half sincere about this. The other half was just trying to find a way to make us go away. But he is going to abide by his deal.
Our business is concluded. The piece will be delivered when it is done.
If you say so. Tell me all about it.
Because No Pressure Guy is not in this to just sleep with whoever will sleep with him. He is trying to find someone with whom he is compatible in some meaningful sense. And so at the end of our conversation, if we're not going to go off together immediately, and it comes time to exchange phone numbers,
Duty is the greatest honor, and duty to Helm is above all.
I think the Ring of Holiness is worth the most cash. This is the only one that we can use as a sorcerer, but we actually already have one. Okay.
You know, I could really use some rest.
Because this is our stronghold, we can actually rest right there. Alright,
Is that all?
what's next on our list? Day 22. Let's check in there again. Ah,
Nothing to it.
I forgot about that. It will actually tell me. Okay. And whenever gold is placed in the keep, I think that's when the next thing comes up. I mean, not really. Only if you come and get it
Whatever you
immediately.
want.
I think there'll be something here now.
Greetings, Your Grace.
Hello, pal.
So, we just got 500 gold for having the stronghold, and now we just spent 1,500. So we're down by 1,000. We're not even going to bother to pick up that 500 gold. It's not like we need it.
Just as I'm ready.
So there comes a time when the conversation is over. And at that point we're going to be exchanging phone numbers, and most guys will ask for my phone number, and that's the extent of their thought process. No pressure guy will actually just give me his.
What would you like?
Actually, no. I was going to do this quest next, but
Whatever you
actually
want.
I think we'll oops.
If you say so.
We'll pick up a this quest in here.
Of course.
I am one of the few who are chosen.
Medine has proven to be his faithful self as usual, like 20 days ago. But he won't name the amount of gold, and he won't tell us what this item of substantial magical power actually is. You remember back in Baldur's Gate when we were talking to Scar, and he would tell us exactly how much he was going to give us? I liked Scar. I don't see how these statements are compatible. Okay.
If that's what you want.
A no-pressure guy, who is especially cute,
Who are you?
will actually have a business card with his information on it, and his phone number, and how he prefer his phone number, and probably also his email address, and how he prefers to be contacted if you prefer if he prefers me to call him or text him or what have you. Umar is basically the Blair Witch. Okay. I think we'll all be going to Umar Hills next. And especially cute, no pressure guy will actually have his information on a business card and he'll give it to you. And maybe it'll even have some kind of cute little statement on it like, you know, such and such thinks you're interesting and awesome and would like to hear from you again. So, you know, contact me at, you know, whatever.
Helm sees all. Know that and be judged.
This is a lie. It's like one thing.
Let us speak and be done with this.
Okay. So that's it for this time. Next time we'll be going to the Umar Hills. And I don't know. Not sure what we'll do first when we get there. Probably the actual Umar Hills quest will come first. But that's what we'll be doing. Where's Umar Hills are on our map. So join me then. Later.